I also hope that you had a great day. All right, so today we're going to start with our grade 5 English lesson on synonyms. So before we start our lesson on synonyms, you're going to aplusstudents.ca. Once you log into aplusstudents.ca, you're going to log in with your username as well as your password. All right, so once you've logged in with your username as well as your password, and then you are going to select the subject of language arts. And then we go to grade 5. All right, so once we are in grade 5, because that is going to be the grade that we're teaching today, you're going to scroll down up until you get to the chapter of synonyms. So you're going to click on synonyms. So under the chapter of synonyms, we're going to be focusing on the lessons of choose the synonym, find synonyms in context. So we're going to explain it some more. And then find synonyms in context, right? So in context will be explained, and then also synonyms within context. All right, so now we are going to start with our first lesson, which is choose the synonym. All right, so we're choosing synonyms, right? Firstly, a synonym or synonyms are words with the same meaning or almost the same meaning, right? So it's words with the same meaning or almost with the same meaning, or let's say it is words similar in meaning, right? So it's the same as saying one word, but then there's another word that it's a different word, but it also means similar or kind of the same thing, if you should put it like that. So synonyms, it can be two different words, but the meanings are, let's say, either the same, or it is almost the same, or it is similar, but it is like two different words. And if we think of two different words, then we can say, for example, if you are happy, right? Instead of using just a word that is happy, you can also say, oh, sorry. So it can be I'm happy or I'm glad, right? So both of these words, it basically means something that is almost the same, right? It shows a form of happiness, it shows a form of excitement, it shows the form that you are glad, right? So that is why we say synonyms are words with the same meaning or almost the same meaning, right? All right. So now we're going to look at a few sentences, right? Of different, let's say, synonyms, um, or different sentences that has like different words, or where we can basically change the different words or basically get another word that means the same as the previous one. So the first one says, which word is a synonym, right? Or which word is a synonym of a nouns? So a nouns. So we need to give a word that is similar to a nouns. So which means that if you basically announce something, right, then we need to kind of find another word that means similar to a nouns, right? And another word that is similar to a nouns, we can say that it is declare, right? So you can say that I announce that something has happened, or I am declaring that something has happened, right? Which means that the synonym, right? The synonym of a nouns is declare, right? So the synonym of announce is declare. And both of these words, it basically makes an official statement, which is synonym. The synonym of the word announce is declare, and both announce as well as declare, it makes an official statement, right? I am announcing that this is happening. I am also declaring that this is happening, right? And this is an official statement that we are making, whether you are announcing it or whether you are declaring it. All right, so what is a synonym of coat? A coat, right? A coat that we wear usually when it is a bit cold, right? So another word that is similar in meaning to coat is a jacket, right? Because a jacket is also something that you wear in order to, let's say, basically warm yourself. Usually we wear it when it is more cold, or not necessarily during winter, but when it is more like wintry weather, right? So a coat or a jacket. So the synonym of coat is jacket, right? And both of these words, which is coat as well as jacket, right, is something that is worn over clothes for warmth, right? And it's like I mentioned, you either wear it when it is, won't say during winter, because we also wear it like, when it is warm weathers, and we wear it for fashion, but you mainly wear it to basically keep yourself more warm than just an actual jersey. So the similar meaning or the synonym of coat is jacket, right? Where these two has similar meanings, right? Both is being worn over clothes for warmth. Which word is a synonym of hard? So the word that is the same as hard, or almost the same as hard. So if something is very hard, then you can also say something is difficult, right? So if something is hard, you can say something is difficult. Like I am struggling, right? This is so hard. Like it is difficult to do. It is hard to complete, right? Which means that hard, or the synonym of hard, is difficult, right? Which basically means that both of these words means that whatever you are doing is not easy, right? So if you need to do a task, if you need to do an activity, anything with it, whether it's physical or mental, it is not easy, right? And that is basically what both of these words mean. So hard and difficult, right? They are synonym of each other, and both words mean that it is not easy. It is hard. So you can either say that something is hard. If you don't want to use the word hard, you can say something is difficult, right? So both of these words, they mean that it is not, or something is not easy. If we think of another word, right? Like look at this word over here, dad and father, right? So synonyms of each other, which means that the synonym of dad is father, all right? Because dad and father, it is basically words that almost means the same, right? Dad takes the role of being a father, or father takes the role of being a dad. As you said, some of us call our dads dad, or we call our dads daddy, or we call our dad father, right? However, both of these words, they are similar in meaning, right? They take up the role as the father figure in the house, right? Whether we say it's our dad or whether we say it is our father, right? So that is also a synonym, right? Or these are also synonyms, right? Where they basically almost mean the same. All right. Okay. A synonym of tale, tale, right? So if you are basically reading a story, then you can say that I am either reading a fairy tale or a short tale, and that is the same as saying I'm reading a story, right? So a story can either be a fairy tale or it can be a tale that you are reading, and it means that it is a story, right? Which means that the synonym of tale is story, right? Because both tale and story, it names, right? Or it basically tells us that it is made up events, right? A story is a made up event. A fairy tale is also a made up event, right? So it's like where you are telling a made up event. You are telling a made up story. You're telling a made up fairy tale, right? Something that we made up, right? We talk about Cinderella stories or Goldilocks and the, you know, those type of stories, right? So we have the story which is similar to a tale, right? Or fairy tale being the same as a story, right? It is something that you are telling, but it's a made up event or made up something that you are telling or made up event that you're telling. And we said that the story and a tale is the same. And the same with difficult and hard, right? Remember, if something is very difficult, it is also hard. And that Musa means that it is not easy. And with synonyms, especially if you are writing either a story or you need to write a paragraph or you need to write a diary entry, whatever you write, let's say, um, at school or that your teacher tells you to write about, you can then use words that are almost the same in meaning. So instead of saying that, um, instead of writing in your paragraph that the assessment or the assignment that you got was difficult, you can maybe say in the story or in the paragraph that the assessment or task that you got was hard, right? So it means that you can basically use both words because it is almost the same in meaning. So synonyms are also there. Instead of using the one word, you can think of another word in order to use within either a paragraph, within a sentence, within an essay, within a story that you are writing or telling, diary entry, or anything that you are writing or telling or making up, right? All right, so that is basically choose the synonyms. So now we're going to do a test. So we're going to the test where we are going to choose the synonyms, right? And they're saying which word is a synonym of incorrect, right? So another word for incorrect. So if something is incorrect, is it the same as solving it? Or is incorrect the same as wrong? So we need to find a word that is the same in meaning as incorrect. Incorrect. And incorrect basically means that it is not correct. It is incorrect. So if we need to choose a synonym of incorrect because it is not correct, right? Then it is wrong, right? Because incorrect means that it is wrong. Solving means that it is correct. You solved the problem, you solved the mathematical problem or whatever that you solved, right? So incorrect means that it is wrong. So you can either say it is wrong or it is incorrect, right? So those are words that is almost the same in meaning. Declare. The synonym of declare is it to hush or to announce? Declare. Is it to hush or is it to announce? Declare. We need to choose the word that's similar in meaning of declare. Is it to hush or is it to announce. All right, so declare. The word that is similar in meaning or almost the same in meaning of declare, we can say it is a nounce, right? It is a nounce. Which word is a synonym of thin, right? So the synonym of thin. Which word is a synonym of thin? So the synonym of thin, is it skinny or is it plump? So skinny or plump. These are words that are similar in meaning. Skinny or plump. The same as thin. All right, so if we were to choose a synonym, right, which is a similar in meaning or almost the same as thin, then it is skinny, right? So you can either say you're skinny or you can say that I am thin, right? All right, the synonym of far. So if something is far, right, does it mean that it is approaching or is it distant? So something that is far, is it approach or is it distant? Similar of far. Okay, so if we were to get the synonym of far, then it means that the synonym of far is distant, right? Because approaching, it's as if it is closer or it's coming nearer to you, right? But far means that it is still in a distant, right? All right, we're going to do the last one, which is which word is a synonym of disturb? So someone is disturbing you, right? Does it mean that they are bothering you or you find pleasure or it's just pleasure? Disturb. So we need to find the synonym, right, which is the word that is similar or almost the same in meaning as disturb. Is it to bother you? They're disturbing you, they're bothering you, or they're disturbing you. It's pleasure. All right, so disturb. If someone disturbs you, it's the same as saying that they are bothering you. There is no pleasure in being disturbed. All right, so that is basically choosing synonyms, right? And we see synonyms, it is words, it can be two different words that is almost the same in meaning. So now we're going to find synonyms in context, right? We're going to find synonyms in context. And we see that a synonym is a word with a similar meaning to another word. So you'll have two different words, right? But the meanings of these words are similar to one another. And we made an example of dad and father, right? Remember, it's the same as you calling your dad dad and somebody else calling your dad father, but yet the meanings are the same, right? It is still the specific role that your dad takes or your father takes, right? And then also we have fast and speedy, right? He's he's running fast, right? Or he is fast. Or we can say he is speedy, right? So both of these words, it is different words, but the meanings are the same, right? Or the meanings are similar. Because fast is doing something speedily, and speedy is when somebody is fast, right? All right. So once again, dad or father, it is two different words, right? It's two different words, but yet the meanings of these words are the same, right? Or the similar in meaning, right? Because dad and father, it basically means one thing. It's the role that your father or your dad takes, right? Fast and speedy. Same thing. It's like in the test where we said disturb or bother, right? You can either say somebody's disturbing me or somebody is bothering me, right? It's two different words, but the meanings are similar. All right. Okay, so now we are going to finding synonyms in context, right? Christine usually carries a canvas sack. So Christine usually carries a canvas sack to the grocery store. If she forgets it, she uses a paper bag from the store. So Christine usually carries a canvas sack to the grocery store. If she forgets it, she uses a paper bag from the store. So we need to find the word that is similar in meaning to the word in bold, right? So the word in bold is sack. So another word that means the same as sack, we need to basically find that word within the sentence, right? So another word that means sack. So which means that they're saying that she goes to the store and she carries a canvas sack. But if she forgets that canvas sack, then she uses a paper bag from the store, right? Which means that sack is similar to bag, right? Whether it's a plastic bag that she uses or a paper bag that she uses from the store, right? Sack is a synonym, or bag is a synonym of sack, or sack is a synonym of bag. So sack and bag, both words, they name something that is used to hold things. And in this case, to hold the groceries, right? So the sack either carries groceries, or we take a paper bag, or we can take a plastic bag, or whatever bags the store gives you, right? That is to hold things. And in this case, like we said, it is to hold groceries. So the synonym of sack is bag. Astronauts hope to explore distant planets. So astronauts hope to explore distant planets in our solar system. Perhaps in the future, they will travel to the far reaches of the universe. So we now need to find the synonym of distant within this sentences that we just read. So the synonym of distant. All right, so they're saying astronauts hope to explore distant planets in our solar system. Perhaps in the future, they will travel to the far reaches of the universe, right? So, which means that the synonym of distant, the synonym of distant, it means far, right? Because if something is in the distant or distance, right, then it means that it is far. It's like a far reached thing, right? So basically, distant, the synonym of distant is far. And both of these words, right, both far and distant, it means that it is not close, right? It is something that is not close. It is either very far, or we can say it is in the distant or in the distance. All right. We need to find that bouquet immediately. Immediately. The word immediately. We need to find the synonym of the word immediately. The bride is ready to walk down the aisle now. So, immediately, we need to find a word in the sentence that means immediately. We need to find the bouquet immediately. It's the same as saying we need to find the bouquet now, right? So now, now is basically the synonym of immediately, right? And both words, which is immediately as well as now, it means at the present moment, right? It's like right away, now, immediately, right? So immediately and now, it is two different words with the same meaning, or the meanings are almost the same, right? So which means that immediately is a synonym of now, or now is the synonym of immediately. And both of these words, which is immediately as well as now, it means at the present moment, or it means right away. All right, let's go to the next one. My younger sister is quite tall and skinny. Skinny. We need to find the synonym of skinny within the sentence. Skinny. She can't wear my bracelets. Most are too large for her thin wrists. So, skinny. We need to find the synonym of skinny within our sentence, right? And remember, we said that synonyms are words with the same meaning or almost the same meaning, right? It doesn't necessarily have to mean that it is the same meaning. It doesn't have a direct same meaning, but it basically means that both of the words kind of mean the same, or it almost means the same. So, skinny, right? Another word for skinny can be thin or slender, right? But in this case, seeing that we had to identify the word from the from the sentence, then it is thin, right? So you can either say my younger sister is quite tall and thin, but in this case, we can say my younger sister is quite tall and skinny, right? So skinny and thin, both of these words mean that your sister is either slender, right? So nowadays we don't say we are skinny or we say we are thin, because some people see it as offense, right? But they use words like you are either slender, right? So slender is a word that most people use nowadays instead of saying skinny or thin without, let's say, offending anybody. All right. I always appreciate a good story. So, story, we need to find the synonym of story. I always appreciate a good story. Lately, I've been reading a great tale about people living on Mars. So, a story, right? If you tell stories, as much as some of the words or some of the things are true, most of it is made up, right? Because sometimes when we tell stories, we need to add a bit of exaggeration to it. So, story. And another word for story is a tale, or a fairy tale, or some tale, right? So, story, the synonym of story is tale. And both story and tale, right? It is the telling of made up events, right? You basically made up events for the story that you're telling, or you're making up the event for the tale that you are telling, right? And we made an example earlier on when I mentioned either the Cinderella story, Goldilocks, right? Red Riding Hood, right? These are all stories or tales that people made up. It is made up events, right? Even though we enjoy these made up events, right? Because it's quite catchy, but somebody, that author or poet or someone, they came up with a story or a tale by making up the events, right? So once again, the synonym of story, right, is tale. And these are synonyms of each other. And synonyms are words with the same meaning or almost the same in meaning. All right, so now we're going to test ourselves on finding synonyms within the context. You need to select the synonym of the word in bold. So if we select the synonym of the word in bold, the new bookkeeper wrote down the incorrect figures. Now the accounting balance sheet is wrong. So we need to find the same word or the similar word within the sentence of incorrect. So if something is incorrect, does it mean that it is wrong or does it mean it is accurate? Incorrect. We need to find the word incorrect. The same as incorrect. All right, so basically the word that is similar to incorrect, right, is wrong. Because if something is incorrect, it means that it is not correct. It is not accurate, right? Because accurate means that it is correct. But if something is incorrect, then it is not correct, meaning it is wrong. So wrong is the same as incorrect. If we leave immediately, we'll make it to the movie theater on time. I hate missing the previews. So let's go now. Immediately, we need to select the synonym of the word in bold, which is immediately, right? And we need to find the correct word that's similar in meaning to immediately within the sentence. So, immediately, does it mean now or does it mean later? So, immediately, does it mean now or does it mean later? All right, so the synonym of immediately, right? Synonym of immediately, like the word similar in meaning or almost the same of immediately. We leaving immediately, it's the same as saying we leaving now, right? Now. Now is the same as saying immediately. All right. My younger sister is quite tall and skinny. She can't wear many bracelets. Most are too large for her wrist. We need to find a word that is similar to skinny. Is it thin or overweight? Skinny, slender, right? All right, so if we look at the word skinny, right, if we select the word that is similar in meaning to skinny, then we can say that it is thin, right? Because overweight is basically the opposite of skinny, right? Or it's the opposite of thin, right? So instead, even the same as overweight, right? People don't use words like fat anymore because you see it as an offense, right? But they'll use words like they are overweight, right? They are more plump, So those are words that people may use instead of saying you are fat. Same with skinny and thin, right? People tend to avoid sometimes words like thin or being skinny, so they'll use words like slender. But thin is a synonym of skinny. Mr. Smith is always looking for a good bargain. Last summer, he got a great deal on some marked down golf clubs. So, bargain, is the bargain the same as deal? You got a good deal or you got a good price? So, he's always looking for a good bargain. So, bargain, what does bargain mean? It is the same or similar to getting a good deal or getting a good price. A bargain. All right, let's choose a bargain as a deal. All right, so a deal or bargain, that is what Mr. Smith likes. All right, so that is basically synonyms, right? And we went over choosing synonyms as well as finding synonyms within context. And we said synonyms are words with similar meaning, or synonyms are words that are almost the same in meaning, right? So it's two different words, but the meanings are the same, or the meanings are almost the same, right? All right, so now that is basically the chapter as well as our lessons on synonyms. We are now going to go to the A plus classes. You're going to log into A plus classes.ca. Once you've logged into A plus classes.ca, you're going to learning materials. And then you're going to go to grades, grade 5. And then we're going to scroll down to what would you like to do? And we would like to language arts. We're going to click on language arts. All right, so once we've clicked on language arts, we're going to language arts practice book. So here's 3 different workbooks. We're going to the first one, that is language arts practice book. And then we're going to scroll down up until we get to page 34. Scroll down up until you get to page 34. And page 34 has synonyms. Oopsie. Sorry, what did I do? There we go. All right, where are we? We are now on page 26. 34. Page 34. All right, so now we are by page 34, right? And 34, it also mentions synonyms, right? And we said that synonyms, let's go back down. All right, let's leave it just on. So synonyms are words that have very similar meanings, right? A thesaurus contains a list of synonyms. So if you find a thesaurus, right, a thesaurus will give you literally a list of synonyms. They'll give you words, and then they will give you lots of words that are similar in meaning to that one specific word. So with a dictionary, the dictionary will give you the meaning of the word, right? And they will either tell you, for example, if it is a verb, an adjective, or whatever it is, and they will give you the meaning of that word. Whereas with a thesaurus will give us a list of synonyms, right? Words that are similar in meaning to that specific words that you are looking for, right? So next time when you go and check the thesaurus, and you're looking or you're hoping to find another word similar in meaning, you can basically just scroll through the thesaurus. They'll give you that one specific word and many different other words that are similar in meaning, right? And we say that a dictionary, it often includes synonyms, yes, for words along with words of definitions. So a dictionary, yes, it gives you sometimes words that are similar in meaning, right? But not as much or as broad as the thesaurus, right? All right. So we're going to look at these four words, right? So within the thesaurus, you'll usually find words that looks like this, right? We'll give you the word, for example, aroma. We'll tell you that it maybe it's a noun, adjective, verb, or so on. So in this case, aroma, right? N means that it's a noun. And aroma, the words that are similar in meaning to aroma can either mean smell, scent, or odor, right? So these are the three words that are similar in meaning or almost the same in meaning as aroma. So if you want to talk about the aroma of the cake, right? You can even say the smell of the cake, the scent of someone, the odor, right? So as much as we mainly use odor in the context of something stinking, right? But odor doesn't necessarily mean something stinking, right? Odor can be a good smell, can be a bad smell, right? Then we have brave, right? So brave, the word brave, firstly, it will show that it's an adjective, and words that are similar in meaning to brave is courageous and it is fearless, right? Then we have dog, right? So another word for dog or similar in meaning to dog is you can either say a hound, a mutt, or a pooch, right? And a dog is a noun. Then we have a village, right? And a village is firstly it's a noun. And with village, you can either use the word village, or you can say metropolis, or you can say it's a town, or you can say the city. So you can either, if you want to refer to your village, you can either say it's my city, my town, my metropolis, depending also on whether you live in the city, whether you live in the town, right? Okay, so now they're saying use the thesaurus entry. So here we have the thesaurus entry in the box, right? We need to use the thesaurus entries in the box to find synonyms for the underlined words. All right, we can go just so for the underlined words. So the first one says, the aroma of baking bread made my mouth water, right? So the aroma. So if we were to talk about the aroma of the baking bread, then we can say that the smell of baking bread made my mouth water, right? So the aroma, the smell of the baking bread made my mouth water, right? So smell is another word that is similar in meaning to aroma, right? The brave firefighter rescued three people from the burning building, right? So brave. So with brave, we can either say the fearless firefighter or we can say the courageous firefighter, right? Either the courageous or we can say the fearless, right? With no fear, he rescued people from the burning building. Our village was growing larger and larger as new people moved in, right? So you can either say the metropolis grew or was growing larger and larger as new people moved in, or you can say the town was growing larger and larger as new people moved in, right? So town is the same as or similar in meaning to village. We saw a spotted dog with long fur sitting by our door, right? So you can either say a hound, you can say a mutt, or we can say a pooch, right? Let's use the word pooch, right? So we saw a spotted dog with long fur sitting by our door, right? So a pooch or a mutt or a hound, right, is a word that is similar to instead of saying dog, right? So that is basically four different words, or the different words that's similar in meaning to either aroma, brave, village, and dog, right? And we see that you'll be able to also find lots of synonyms within a thesaurus. And yes, a dictionary also gives you words, some like synonyms basically. However, it's not as broad as a thesaurus. All right, so that is basically the end of our lesson, right, on synonyms. And we said synonyms are words that have similar meaning, right, or similar meanings. And we can usually find synonyms within a thesaurus or within a dictionary. Thesaurus will give us a more expanded, broad, like, more words or more words that are similar in meaning. A dictionary will give you the definition as well as some of the synonyms within that means the same or similar in meaning. So this is basically the end of our lesson on synonyms. Thank you very much for joining the class. I really hope that you will have an amazing evening further. Goodbye.